What's up guys, it's Drac and it's time. It's time for another Top 5 Friday, but it's not just time for another Top 5 Friday, it's time for the Top 5s. The most anticipated every year, the list. So, we're gonna begin with the best because we start with dessert first here at Castle Dracula. So this week we will be talking about the top 5 best Nerf blasters of 2018. When I say Nerf blasters, I wanna point out that a couple of things happened this year. First off, explosion in homemade, hobby-made, hobbyist-generated, open source, closed source, what have you. We could lump them all as 3D printed blasters, but that's not accurate. What they are is small, like mom and pop maker style blasters. And with so many of them, the list could be very different because some of them were complete stinkers and some of them were marvelous successes. So I'm gonna preface this by saying none of those will be included. If you want, I'll do a dedicated top 5 kind of homemade blasters very near in the future, but there are a couple that are like, I'm just waiting for a couple to creak over the finish line before I'm happy reviewing them in their current form. That said, let's move on to the top 5 blasters that the industry has produced. Our number 5 blaster should excite my buddy Coop a whole bunch. This is his Tacticool baby after all, but I couldn't find a stock one because I had to tweak mine out immediately. You know, because we still make things on this channel. Seriously though, I did not expect a reskin or a repainting of any blaster to make this list. This list is always supposed to be about innovation and cool new stuff and companies trying new things and making cool blasters that are either functionally or from a fun perspective just an absolute blast. Maybe they innovate in terms of like how affordably they can deliver new technology to us or new technology in general. Like this list is really like my little snapshot of the industry as a whole, but this isn't painted exactly right. It's normally got this super goofy white barrel on it, but I had to nix it out. If you're not sure what that means, I've got a whole video on my Project Nix cage, which was very special for me in 2018. But if you need a quick synopsis, hyper accurate flywheel tech with compatible flywheel geometry. Man, I'm so happy how this turned out. But let's talk about the Strata Hawk for a second here. This is an AccuStrike reskinning of the 2013, I think, Nerf Rapid Strike, and the Nerf Rapid Strike is the king of full auto. I've done a top 5 full auto video, and the Nerf Rapid Strike reigns supreme in that as well. Darts are better at high ranges than balls, which means that these by far best the rival performance. Now, they're not necessarily as consistent in terms of certain things, but they break higher RPMs as well. You can get way more rounds per minute out of them. The yoke system of the Rapid Strike is ubiquitous. Now it can be tricky. Doing a 3 switch is a little iffy, but there's new technology for that. Doing a 2 switch is ultra simple. But ultimately, no matter how you build a Rapid Strike, the issue was that we were running out of them. And now we're not. The Rapid Strike is back, it's freshly molded, it's got a new coat of paint, and it's sweet. So this is an elite Rapid Strike by any other name, and since all the internals that may have been tweaked slightly, realistically they weren't. We got those out and turned them into incredible machines anyways. So this is a lot of HVZ players and a few different stock class players, blaster choice, and it's great to have it back on the shelf, and it's so great to have it at a like relatively affordable price. Like it comes with some non-sensory and accessories, but it's not too terribly break the bank expensive for one of the best primary class Nerf blasters of all time. I don't want to talk about it ad nauseum because I have reviewed this blaster recently in stock form, but it's ultra sweet, guys. The Rapid Strike is back.
To infinity and beyond.
Or to infinite and beyond. The beyond being that this is really cool technology. So it's clear from how Hasbro marketed and pumped up this blaster that like they seriously believe in this technology, and I hope that it turns up on other blasters or accessories in the near future. I've spoken with designers about the possibility of building a rig of sorts, incorporating this technology into a magazine autoloader just dedicated to that purpose. Now, obviously Hasbro's more interested in bundling it into a blaster and selling it all to you at a markup. Now, the coolest thing about the Infinites by far is the Infinity technology, allowing you to reload off the field, out of a dump pouch, out of a pocket. This port here automatically loads darts in. It just sucks them in as quickly as you can load them and chambers them into your magazine or drum. Now, it comes with a drum that's got an indicator here so that it's kind of smart and you can't overfill it, but it'll fill anything. It'll fill regular Nerf magazines, it'll fill knockoff in-strike compatible magazines, and it constantly talks to you with its onboard reader. Right now it's saying low battery.
Low battery.
I'm just really excited for the Infamous. It proves that Hasbro is still willing to do ambitious things. They're still willing to incorporate new technology. They're still, like, as the market leader, innovating and bringing us new stuff. Like, if they're the Apple of our industry, this is this year's iPhone, and it's very, very cool. Like, this is technology that's desirable on every level. The kid who's playing in his basement wants the ability to load darts easier and quicker without having to break up his battle. The dude who's playing HVZ wants the option to load darts from a dump pouch, and people who are, like, super competitive nerfers like the option of this technology for future modification potential or the ability to create what I still need to create, which is 4 of these just locked together to load my 22s between rounds at things like Ion Rush. But I think that this is just a really, really cool blaster. Ergonomically, a little bit wonky. Performance-wise, absolutely fine, but new technology is always welcome. New innovation should be rewarded, and that is why the Infamous comes in at number 4, making stuff happen up there in Pawtucket. Our number 3 blaster is not a Nerf blaster. How cool is that? So while there were a litany of cool offerings from Dart Zone and Zuru this year, it can be very, very difficult to, taking an annual snapshot of the hobby, compete with the juggernaut that is Hasbro. That said, Dart Zone delivered with a primary that in some ways competes very directly with the Nerf Nemesis. Now the Nerf Nemesis has made our list. I think it was number 1 last year. Let me know in the comment section below. But this is serious power at a price point that can't be beaten. This is what I was talking about. This is making high performance, high capacity, amazingly like ergonomic rival primary stuff like tech available to everybody. Like, this is a very affordable blaster. It's cheaper than a lot of the mid-range Nerf blasters, and when it goes on sale, when you can pick this up for 40 United States dollars, 35 United States dollars, both of which have happened this year, this blaster does not break the bank and delivers some serious hits. Not only do I use this in the SCNC sometimes, it makes an incredible loaner. It was a dream to paint up with how easily all this paneling broke down and off of it, and it's cheaper to feed because you have all that money left over to spend on the cross-compatible ammo or genuine ammo or knockoff ammo. Ammo video coming soon. I'm serious, guys. We will make a full breakdown of the differences in value in rival ammo the same way that we did with darts pretty soon. But the Quantum is sweet. I primaried it in the NBL. I've primaried it at home in the SCNC, and it's always just an absolute pleasure. The built-in agitator was a pleasant surprise for me, and it really just shows that, like, they put a lot of thought into how to make something that was a complete Nemesis competitor at half the price. Like, these days you can pick up a Nemesis on sale, but they still tend to float at almost 50-60% of whatever the Nemesis costs is what the Quantum costs. And it deserved a place on the list because while it's not like necessarily innovative in its technology, it is innovative in what it's doing for nerfers at a very, very, very fair price. So I think the Quantum is super sweet. I love primarying mine. It doesn't mean that I'm setting down Sauron anytime soon, but that is just my take, and that's why it's got to come in at number 3. Plus, Hasbro didn't do enough cool stuff this year for a top 5. Alright, so can you guys guess what comes in at number 2?
It's Hades, Lord of the Dead. Hi, how you doing?
That's right, Meg, it's the Hades. The Hades is ultra sweet, got a ton of field time in hanging out with a new friend this year, Zach King, Instagram magician extraordinaire, messing around with Hades in his underground bunker. Like, this is a really sweet blaster, and in a lot of ways, like, planned obsolescence aside, this is what rival Springer Performance has been heading towards the entire time. This is what I was most excited about at Toy Fair last February, and I was not shy about it. Like, the Hades is a serious rival powerhouse that delivers the hits, no batteries required, like, just an awesome, easy to articulate, better Artemis. Holds twice the capacity at twice the length, which could be a bad thing, but gives you a very comfortable adult-sized profile. Good, like, it's just so nice. Ergonomically, it's sound. Line of sight is amazing. That reload is ultra sweet. Still has the retention bit there to bring you home. Like, I can't get over it. The Hades is one of my favorite things to use at the SCNC, period. Like, if I'm just goofing around and I'm not trying to be crazy competitive, there's no sense in busting out a tier 0 Strife. Like, especially if the weather is bad or if you have to travel, like the Hades just barely fits in a suitcase. It's great to take anywhere and it will do everything you need, from CQB ricochet shots to high capacity. I don't want to reload during this 10-minute round. It's great in the little pop-up arenas that are happening everywhere. Like the Hades is if I could only have one Nerf blaster from this year, it would probably be the Hades, not our number one. And that's because it's so incredibly versatile. It's so cool. And frankly, it feels like it was just like really every ergonomic choice on it was like made to fit my profile and body. Slamfire comes standard and the retail price point can't be beat. It was on sale during Black Friday for, I want to say, 40 bucks. And normally it costs anywhere between 60 and 70. Fairly priced from the Juggernaut, the mothership itself, and just an overall amazing rival Springer. I'm honestly terrified of what's going to come out that bests this. Is this the top of the pyramid? Can you guys tell me, like, what do you think would make a rival Springer better than this? Maybe our number one slot has an answer. Or an option. What do you guys bring to Battle of God? How about a Titan? This Kronos is sweet. The Kronos XV-III 500 is my top blaster for 2018. Why? A lot of different reasons. One, it is super duper compact. This is rival performance, smaller than we've ever had it. Did that just... 1, 2, 3. Crazy. Compact performance aside, like this is the first holsterable rival blaster, and it's still hitting like a truck. Like this does full rival Springer ranges and accuracy. And my poor lamp down the hallway. But it's just a serious contender. It has all of the options that you may want or will completely ignore, such as the safety and the dart jam guide here. Hilariously, very popular things for us to modify or redact. But cool profile, excellent lines on it, paints up nicely, comfortable grip, full-size pistol, and delivers the hits. What makes it the number one blaster? It's under 20 bucks. The MSRP on this was a Jackson, but frequently they're sold from everywhere from $12 to $15, and that means that this is the easiest entry, like genuine Hasbro guaranteed performance, high quality plastic, like entry level into rival battling. Like if you want to enter the rival league in Texas, or you just want to take omnidirectional ammo in as either an option or a sidearm choice or what have you, like this is the easiest way to do it, and it is very exciting. The built-in magazine is a phenomenal little innovation that they've been playing with a whole bunch, but Rival does it better than anyone before it. Omnidirectional ammo suits itself really well to tubular magazines.
It's totally tubular.
I love this blaster, and it's no secret that with a litany of 3D printed options from tons of people in the community, that the modding scene loves it as well. But as much as we love it, adults love it for office battles. It's super high selling, like it's very cool. This rival entrant is something that we've been missing for a long time now. There have been plenty of options around this price point from companies like Dart with the titanium and the Powerball, but it's hard to compete with an actual pistol that you can throw in a drawer at the office or you can take in on your thigh to any sort of Nerf battle. I played with my Kronos more than any other blaster at Jared's Epic Nerf Battle 3, and I absolutely loved it. Only having to keep track of a couple speed loaders and one blast meant that I had one hand free for vlogger mode and high fives. Like, this is just a great blaster, be you competitive or casual. Tons of options, can't beat it, and it costs you almost nothing to get into. This is a really cool option. I'm super thrilled that Hasbro finally made a rival pistol, because before they did, there was only one and it wasn't that amazing. Firing gets you nowhere close to Rival's performance. Anyway, that's my top 5 video. I hope that you guys enjoyed 2018's blaster offerings as much as I did. I had a ton of tremendous adventures with them. I got to play with them in all sorts of different places, had an absolute blast, and got to experience virtually all of them. So this is just my list. It's always like important to put at the end of this, like this is like a one-man channel. This is a biased list, like it's inherently personally biased. These are my favorite offerings. It's pretty obvious that I really like Rival, and it's obvious that I really like Performance, but I also like cheap blasters and cool new tech. Like if you really like gimmicks and you're upset that there aren't like weird gimmicky blasters on here, make your own top 5. I'll watch it. Thank you guys so much for watching mine. As always, much love. Nerf on Drac out.